Okay, welcome everybody to the September 2nd, 2025 iteration of the MicroProfile Live Hangout. A link to the meeting minutes is in the chat, so please add yourself as a participant. Name of the company is optional. It's everyone's responsibility, shared responsibility to take notes. And this will eventually find its way up to YouTube. So let me bring that up. And what's that little red dot mean? Sorry, I see a red dot pop up next to participants. Oh, waiting room. That's what that means. Okay. Okay, so let me share the screen. Share. Google Chrome. There we go. All right, let me. Okay, where did I put the other? Sorry, as I mentioned, it always reorganizes my screen and stuff. I lose track of what's where. Okay, I'm gonna move this to a different monitor. Okay, here we go. So I was mentioning before a lot of you folks joined that I haven't had a chance to work on the agenda. A couple days of PTO, holiday yesterday. Emily and I normally work on it before the call, but again, it was a holiday yesterday. So I haven't really worked on the agenda of things to discuss. Obviously, there's the Jakarta conversation we could continue. I need to reach out to Sharon on budget. So let's hold off on anything budget related. I don't know if there's anything related to the tutorial beyond what we talked about last week. And I could always run through the program plan just to see where we're at. Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, we need to begin thinking about the 2025 program plan and budget. Now, I'll kick off work on that. Emily,
2026.
what did they say?
I said, you said work on 2025 program plan.
Oh, yeah.
I said
Okay.
2026.
I meant 2026. Yeah. So, and we have to
Nice.
finish off the 2025. Okay. So Emily, is there any update from last week on the tutorial? Let's tackle that one first.
Yes. Tora and I are having an email discussion. And then he proposed a PR, so I commented on the PR. He asked me to run GitHub Actions. I said he needs to finalize his PR. So, just before this call, I emailed him, and I'm going to have a meeting with him to have a working session to fix the GitHub pages. At the moment, he's still not working.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one outstanding with the current MicroProfile tutorial. We plan to get together on Thursday this week.
Okay. Let's see. On the Jakarta discussion, so on the platform call today, they just kind of asked for a status update for, the conversation around MicroProfile in Jakarta. And I mentioned that we hadn't really done a whole lot because of the break. We just kind of got back from break and we need to resume that conversation. The forcing function is config, right? Jakarta would like to have config in Jakarta PE12. And I understand that, right? There's very good reason for that. And my biggest concern is, no surprise, the namespace issue. Because config touches every single app. So changing the namespace on config would break basically every single app. Because every spec uses it in some way, every app uses it in some way. So maybe my current understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, around the config namespace issue is that we're kind of at a roadblock Like they're not keeping versus changing seems to be in the 50-50-ish territory. So we don't have consensus per se. Is that everyone's kind of recollection?
Yeah, and
No.
one thing for sure is we haven't reached any conclusion. I don't think there's the clear ballot or something else running to fix to settle the namespace. One thing I would like to add is in tomorrow's Jakarta spec committee meeting, we are going to discuss in the spec committee group to come up with some suggestions. And then hopefully with that, we'll be able to make the next move.
Jan, you also had something to say?
Yeah, I think there is a pretty simple solution. Of course, we need to work on the MP config spec as we discussed a few months ago before the break with Roberto, to prepare it to split it up into parts. So we can move them separately, and making sure that when we move and the namespace changes, we can build an MP config spec based on Jakarta config that adds the original namespace. So within MicroProfile, the old namespace would be supported. And then there can be a very smooth transition, even for MicroProfile. The other way, with a little bit less work, would be moving the spec, moving or changing the namespace, and then build a MicroProfile release based on that with the updated version. The problem is when we wait until the Jakarta 12 core profile will be available, that will take some time, and maybe it's better not to wait on that. And then we can wait from the MicroProfile perspective until the core profile is released, and then remove the MP config spec and do a MicroProfile release that is based completely on Jakarta config.
One of the simplest and less impact move is to move MicroProfile to Jakarta without changing anything. Directly get the core profile to include a MicroProfile. As simple as that. This is another option.
Yeah, that's another option, but we'll nail that namespace down forever. And having two namespaces within Jakarta and MicroProfile at the moment is one of the issues users have, especially the newer ones, that are confused. Why is this a different namespace than the rest of all these specs? And I think this is a chance to clean this up. A historical chance.
That's one of the perspective. I do not think everyone share the same, same view. I think there's another party is don't want to have the namespace change. There's no impact. In this way, they don't need to change anything and then utilize the good ecosystem. I was made aware in the Gartner report, they talk about migrate a MicroProfile to, they talk about migrating Jakarta E to MicroProfile. And then in that article, it said, oh, MicroProfile is the future. So this made me think, if we kill MicroProfile and then we will just say, oh, the new things disappeared. Now it's just Jakarta. If we keep MicroProfile in Jakarta, is that stop that. Then there's no such a thing migrating Jakarta to MicroProfile. MicroProfile is in Jakarta. It works greatly with Jakarta. Anyway, I think this is the old conversation, is debating, is without any conclusion. I think we have to move on and to see from the Jakarta spec committee what kind of suggestion, and then we will work out the next step. I don't think people can reach a conclusion between retaining namespace and changing namespace.
So quick question. I turned on a fan, so is noise canceling working? Do you hear a fan in the background? No fan. Okay, good. Yeah, that's not my skin glistening in the light. That is actually me sweating. Roberto, you had turned off, turned on your camera and turned off your mic like you wanted to add something. So feel free if you'd like to do that.
No, I mean, again, like Miguel was saying, this is just like an old discussion, but I still don't get it why there is so much problem with like saying that users are confused with namespaces, because Jakarta has references to other namespaces, mainly in the JDK, right? And even with Porba, even though I understand that Porba is not really that used, but I mean, there is no confusion with other namespaces why there is with this one, especially if that moves to Jakarta. I don't think that's as an issue.
Yeah. So, boy, I got to think about where to go from here. Well, so like you mentioned, Emily, this could come up in the spec call tomorrow. I wonder if I should join that call. I should look and see. Join the spec calls. Sorry, I'm doing a quick calendar check here. I don't even have it in my calendar.
It's a spec committee call. Jakarta is spec committee call.
Yeah, I don't think I'm on that. I'll look around. I don't see it in my calendar, so I may have to go look.
It's only open to the reps.
Yeah, you get an invitation as a guest.
Yeah. See, gets back to my other point about what we need to start doing, in my opinion, right? About on the Jakarta side, is to have more meetings open to whoever wants to join, right?
I totally agree.
So, anyway, it was good to hear. I think it was in the technical call last week. Was it Jan or Emily or someone brought up that they are actually talking about opening up meetings, right? So this discussion is one that is, being taken, seriously, in opening meetings and stuff like that. So I think that's a very good thing. Okay, so I guess on this topic we can see what comes out of the spec call. Okay. I don't know if there's anything else if anyone wants to bring up anything else on this topic. I'll, for the next live hangout for the technical call, we'll be a little bit more ready. And like I said, for the people that joined late, with PTOs in a holiday yesterday in the States, didn't have a chance to kind of come up with a formal agenda, and Emily and I usually do that before the call, so the day before. If there's nothing else, there is a topic that Michael brought up in the chat. That's a good one, and that is committer elections, the committer representative. So I guess my question is, well, I don't have a question. We're going to have to send out a note basically asking who is interested in being a committer member for this year, or sorry, for 2026. Committer member representative on in the working group. So that's something that I can send out. And I guess, I don't know if we have to dig into that much. And then what we'll do is we'll get people that are interested, and then do a ballot based on interested parties. So, Emily, did you have any topics that you wanted to cover today?
No, really.
Yeah, again, apologize everyone on the agenda. So does anybody else have any agenda topics that they want to talk about?
Oh, sorry. I think this could be mentioned in the next week. However, I would like to ask Roberto. Roberto, did you have any luck with the build infrastructure for MicroProfile, like a staging?
So yeah, so Central already made the changes on the new UI, so now you can approve deployments that are releases with different credentials, as long as you have permissions on the namespace. So I'm able to see the releases being deployed by the Eclipse CI in the namespace, and then you can approve them and push them to Central. But again, that UI or that piece on Central is very rudimentary. So you're able to see deployments, but you're not able to see, at least on the UI, you're not able to see or download the contents of the release. So you have to manually call an endpoint through an API to be able to get that if you want to validate it. So, but at least the issue that we have about being able to release from the CI, it's fixed. Well, fixed in the sense that you're able to move forward. And the pieces that were being blocked is about MicroProfile parent. I already made a release on RC2 with the changes to Central on the branch 2. We already have done that for the branch on the free version. So there is like an RC already available on Central. And I did comment on one of the issues that the OpenAPI folks were asking about, but they never replied to me. I mean, I think they put like a thumbs up, but they never asked for a final version yet. So I'm not sure if they have done any work on that one. Regardless, we are able to release right now. We can validate stuff, even though it takes a little bit of a stretch to be able to do that, because again, you cannot do that by the UI as you've done before, connected to Nexus repository. But regardless, I think we need to review our release process with the things that we discussed last week about trying to split how the build is done and exposing credentials, because that's what we do right now, and we can have leaks on the signing keys and the passwords just by doing that.
Oh, that's great news. Thank you so much, Roberto. Once, so in this case, you are going to do another. Do you need to change more on the parent pool? Do you need to?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
So the parent POM for the current main, which is on version 3, that's already being updated. So OpenAPI, they were still on version 2. I made the necessary updates on version 2 to be able to release to the new Central. And I already released an RC for the version, I think is like 2.12 or 2.13, something like that. So if they are happy with that, then we can do a final release of that one as well.
Well, that's great news. I will tell the folks working on OpenAPI. Maybe they missed your comment.
I don't think they did, because they put like a thumbs up on my comment, but
Oh, okay.
but they didn't reply with any message.
Okay.
That release on RC that was done with Eclipse CI. So
Okay.
I've done it with Eclipse CI as usual, and then I went to the new Maple Central UI and then approved the deployment, and that was it.
Okay, so that's good. Do we need to use the change I mentioned in the last live hangout? No, the technical call made by Eclipse Foundation infrastructure.
That plugin, the
Mhm.
plugin that you said, no, we don't need that.
Oh, okay, that's good. Once you are certain about steps, the API endpoint and etc. Can you create a wiki in our MicroProfile GitHub to have a new title about the new release process?
Yeah, sure, I can add some instructions,
Yeah.
but there is really no new release process. It's just the way that you query stuff changes. So the process itself, well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you interpret that, but I mean, at least the technical process didn't change, right? The tooling where we were pushing stuff did change, right? So while we didn't have to change anything on the release scripts, the only thing that we have to change was the plugin for Nexus, because I don't use Nexus Stage anymore. It has to do the Maven Central plugin, plus pointing to the Maven Central URL, right? So those are the only changes. So as in terms of process and technical stuff, nothing really changed that much. Now, in terms of validating process, that will change, or it's going to change, because now you cannot just log in and download the repo and see what's there. That's the missing part. Maybe in the future they'll add that capability again. But I mean, they're adding stuff every week, but I'm just not sure if that's gonna be a thing anytime soon.
Okay. I'm looking at the MicroProfile, the wiki. You're right, the process do not need to change. However, for the staging and also how to push from staging to Maven Central, that step needs to be updated. Also, we need to have a way when we stage it and when we call for ballot, we need find out how to get hold of the artifacts.
So those are already, as far as I remember, those are already pushed to a staging directory in the Eclipse FTP, which are the same copy that go to Central. And usually what you do is you go and validate the ones that are on Eclipse, and then you go to Nexus to do the approval. Of course, I mean, some users could go and do the downloads from the repo itself, but those are exactly the same binaries. I'll have a look on the doc or that we can see what will be the best way to update it, and propose what should be done next.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Let me quickly post this link. So John, you can put it into a minute. So Roberto, I put on the link, the release in that steps. So can you read us through to see which areas need to be updated to for the current process? So that would be great.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you. That's great news. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, John. That's
No, you're all good. You know what? One thing I realized is we didn't actually update the minutes. So
yeah. The other thing, John, because the holiday, the Labor Day yesterday in the US, we skipped the marketing call. So in the next marketing call, which is in 2 weeks' time, we will discuss the tutorial update. Whether which page we want to do the update. Should we add one new chapter for telemetry or the GraphQL? We will discuss that at a marketing call. At the same time, if we could get the spending summary this year, it will be better. I do not know whether we have spent all the money we said we are going to spend. Because I remember if we don't spend, there's a risk we will lose them.
Well, we're already at the minimum. Well, we can't, I mean, no, I think that the position of the Eclipse Foundation is we have to spend it. Right?
Yeah,
we can't have money and they can't take it or reappropriate it because there's probably lots of legal issues with them doing that. So, I mean, the answer is that we have to spend that money. And, you know, we tried to kick, you know, to address it earlier this year. That's why I need to get, I'll contact Sharon today just to figure out where we are with the budget.
Yeah, that's good. So we can prepare to spend the money.
So we could talk about it at the next marketing call.
Yeah.
Really, which is where our flexible spending is. Everything else is kind of locked down. But the area where we have flexibility is marketing. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, I think that is all we have today. Thanks everyone for joining. Next week is a technical call. And in 2 weeks, same bad time, same bad channel.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, folks. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.